Fallout Equestria Survivors Guild, Chapter 9, Part 4. We managed to fight our way through what few Enclave soldiers there were outside of the stable, and after a long trek through the woods and mountains, we found ourselves reaching the outskirts of Reino. When we reached the NCR embassy, we were exhausted. Clear Skies was asleep and resting on Silver's back as Henry came out to greet us with a schooner.
"Oh, thank the Great Ache you're okay,"
Henry said as we were ushered into the embassy.
So what happened in there? Wait, who are those two?
I told her what happened as Silver and Clear Skies headed towards the Bounty Hunter Guild. Henry was shocked when I told her about what was happening with the Enclave and Stable 48, and she promised to pass on the message to the NCR and get us some transport as soon as possible. I smiled a little as I laid down on the bed and looked at Cherry and Arclight.
"Don't say one word, Arc,"
I said as Cherry laid over to me, resting her head on my chest and sighing happily.
Okay, I won't tease you and your mare friend tonight,"
Arc said with a smirk as she lay down on the bed.
"I am too tired to complain about this,"
I said with a groan. I just wrapped my wings around Cherry gently and drifted off to sleep. I felt like I deserved it after what we had been through. The next day came way too soon for my tastes. I yawned and stretched out as we headed back outside. Henry told us that our transportation had arrived, so I figured it was probably a vertibuck. Well, I wasn't wrong. There was a vertibuck, but floating above us was the massive shadow of Nomad City. Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting, but at least we were going in style.
"What is that thing?"
Cherry asked as she stared up at the massive flying city.
"Well, Cherry, that's Nomad City. It's a flying city that moves across Equestria,"
I said with a light smile.
"Come on, let's get aboard."
We got aboard that vertibuck and it flew off towards the nearest hangar.
"So, quite the group that you picked up here,"
Vanilla said with a chuckle as she looked over at the group that had come with us to Nomad City. We had all met up at the park in the city center in order to regroup and figure out where to go next.
"Yeah, it really is,"
I said with a light chuckle as I saw Serenity, Pureheart, and Clear Skies playing together.
"So, how are things going in the rest of Equestria?" "Well, not well. The Enclave has been using hit-and-run tactics whenever they can, and they don't stay long enough to do more than damage our settlements and take what they can,"
Vanilla said with a shake of her head.
"I'm guessing Stable 48 didn't quite, pan out as you had hoped." "Well, the Enclave's basically taken it over,"
I said with a sigh.
"They've gotten the loyalty of the stable dwellers in exchange for the breeding stock, and they just wanted to keep us there for more breeding. We were lucky to make it out of there." "Yeah,"
Vanilla said.
"Well, when we heard about that from the NCR, Serenity wanted to go in after you."
I breathed a sigh of relief that she hadn't done that. I couldn't imagine what would have happened if Serenity was found by the Enclave.
"Alright, so, what next? Are we heading back to Junction Town?" "No, actually, we're heading south,"
Vanilla said.
"We've picked up a radio broadcast from another stable that's offering to assist in taking on the Enclave." "Well, that's good,"
I said as I waved to Cherry as she approached.
"So, what stable?" "Stable 122.
Vanilla said, which surprised me a little.
"Interesting. Stable 122 was a population experiment. I wonder why they're broadcasting a message now,"
I said as I thought about what was waiting for us in Stable 122.
"So, do they seem to be in any danger?" "No, like I said, they just want to help as best as they can,"
Vanilla said with a shrug.
"I don't think the Enclave is involved in this one, at least." "Yeah, you're probably right,"
I said as I stretched out a little and Cherry sat down next to us.
"Oh, hey Cherry. So, how's Pimento and Tinker settling in?" "They're fine. They've already got places to stay in temporary housing,"
Cherry said with a nod.
"Scootaloo, there's something I wanted to ask you. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I wanted to make it official. Would it be okay if I traveled with you and Arclight? I know I won't be a lot of help, and given my condition, I might be a bit of a burden, but Cherry, you don't have to be so hard on yourself,"
I said with a smile as I hugged the Earth Pony gently.
"You'll do fine. We'll help you learn how to fight, and you'll never, ever be a burden, I promise. And I'd be happy to have you come along."
Cherry smiled and hugged back.
"Thank you, Scootaloo. That really means a lot, and I'll do my best to help you out." "You're welcome, Cherry,"
I said with a smile as I held her close.
Aw, you two are so cute together.
Vanilla said.
Don't you start too, Vanilla.
I said with a groan, which just made the unicorn laugh. I smiled a little. It was nice to be able to have a few days just to relax before we reached Stable 122. There was still a lot of work to be done before Equestria was safe from the Enclave, but it was all gonna be worth it in the end, right? I closed my eyes and just enjoyed the moment. There would be time to worry about the Enclave tomorrow. Level up. Perk received. I prefer to be called a hacker. Rank 2. Details. You've gained a higher skill in hacking from your experience with terminals. You can now unlock expert level terminals.